Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? So much of our conversation on Wednesday's show centered around the news that Michael Thomas is done for the year. So we looked at what possibilities were out there for New Orleans, and quite honestly, there just aren't many. The trade deadline is come and gone, and unless if there's a free agent that pops up, you don't really have any options. Now, Deshaun Jackson is the one guy who was released by the Rams, so he might draw some interest. But we also had the conversation about Odell Beckham, and the Odell Beckham convo has gotten a little bit more intense because apparently what's going on with Beckham and the Browns is pretty serious. There are reports, one from Cleveland.com, which is the Cleveland Plain Dealer. I mean, that is the paper of record in Cleveland, where this report says OBJ has likely played his last game for the Browns, sources say. I mean, that's not a blogger. That's not a balding, chubby radio host. That's the Cleveland Plain Dealer. Cleveland.com reporting that Odell has, citing a source, that Odell has likely played his last game for the Browns. It goes a step further because Jordan Schultz, who has a verified Twitter account for whatever that's worth, he's got a verified Twitter account, and Jordan Schultz reported that there are two teams that have displayed interest in Odell Beckham should he be cut. They're the Saints and the Raiders. Here's the tweet. Sources. Saints and Raiders have displayed interest in Odell Beckham Jr., who has currently cut contact with head coach Kevin Stefanski. The Browns could still release him, allowing him to sign elsewhere. Even after his excused missed practice, I'm told OBJ plans to play Sunday. That's from Jordan Schultz, again, verified Twitter account, at Schultz_report. He's an insider and an analyst. I don't know who Jordan Schultz is, but he's got 90,000 Twitter followers and he's verified. So take that for whatever degree that you want. And those two teams make a lot of sense, don't they? For different reasons, but the same. They both lost star wide receivers this week. Now, Michael Thomas, we know, had a recurrence of his injury, or a setback as it was termed. He's done for the year. With the Raiders, it's just an obviously it's a tragic situation where Henry Ruggs has been cut after he was involved in a fatal car crash earlier this week while he was driving under the influence. He killed a 23-year-old woman. So the Raiders and the Saints are both looking for receiving options. I'm going to talk specifically from the football side of it, not in any way to neglect the importance of the loss of life, but I think we all understand the magnitude that is far greater than anything that happens on a football field. I'm just going to color between the lines here within the context of this show, which is we're going to talk about the football impact. So the Raiders are 5-2. The Saints are 5-2. The Raiders lead their division. The Saints are a half game behind Tampa, but of course they have the same record in the loss column, and the Saints have the head-to-head over Tampa. When you look at if Odell Beckham is weighing those two options, and there's a couple of big hurdles that still need to be cleared. Number one, the Browns have to waive Odell Beckham. If they waive him, he would have to clear waivers. Any team could put in a waiver claim on Odell Beckham. If he cleared waivers, it would basically come down, seemingly, to the Saints and the Raiders, or any team that would want to sign him. But some of the others that would make a lot of sense, like, well, what if he wanted to go play for a contender in Tampa? Well, he's certainly not going to be the number one option in Tampa, where you've got Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and AB. And, I mean, you know he's not going to get targets there. We can go play in Green Bay. Well, you've got a legit number one stud wide receiver in Green Bay. So, I mean, Odell goes there. He's going to be the number two to Devontae Adams. I mean, do you want to go play in Buffalo with Stephon Diggs there? I mean, you catch a pass from Josh Allen, but you're not the number one. I mean, if Odell goes, even if he goes to Las Vegas, even if he were to pick the Raiders, I mean, Darren Waller's there, but he would be the number one wide receiver instantly on that team. But if you go to the Raiders, there's an interim head coach there. Yeah, you'd be catching passes from Derek Carr, who's a better quarterback option than anything the Saints have. But what realistically is an expectation for this Raiders team? I don't know. You flip it to the Saints, and there's a lot of boxes that could check. Odell could come home. Like, he could play in his hometown. Close to his family. Fans would adore him. It's his hometown. And he would get to play for one of the greatest offensive-minded coaches the game has ever seen in Sean Payton, who would absolutely build an offense around his skill set. A package, certainly, around Odell's skill set, because there is nothing on that roster right now, and I mean nada, that even comes close to the dynamic ability that Odell Beckham presents. That is all due respect to everybody on the Saints roster that's playing hard and playing within their means. But, man, there is nothing. It goes without saying. There's nothing like Odell on the Saints roster. No one like Odell currently on the Saints roster. So, if you're Odell, would you want to go to the Raiders with an interim head coach in a tough division with a good quarterback? Would you want to go to New Orleans? Obviously, you got the Bucs in your division. You're coming to your hometown. Great defense. Subpar quarterback play, but amazing head coach. What would a deal look like? I don't know. The Saints would probably have to sign into a long-term deal, which would be backloaded, because you'd have to get as low a cap figure as you could possibly get this year to make that work. But I trust Kai Harley to make that work, because he does those cap gymnastics all the time, and I trust that he would make it work. The one thing that I'll say about New Orleans, it is undeniable that they are in perpetual win-now mode. That's what the Saints are. The Saints have been in perpetual win-now mode since they won the Super Bowl in 2009. They are focused on the immediate short term. How do we get better today? That's their approach in the draft every year. That's their approach in free agency every year. That's their approach with how they manage the cap. How do we get better today to win right now? And with that defense, which is a championship caliber defense, if you can build pieces offensively to be good enough, with Sean Payton pulling the strings, calling the shots, you could make the argument. But if you do a deal to bring Odell to New Orleans, that probably means the end of Michael Thomas's time in New Orleans. Because I don't know how you justify having two $100 million receivers on your roster at once. So, Saints may very well have to pick. We'll see what they do. But the first step is if, in fact, Odell has played his last game for the Browns. This is back-to-back days. He's been excused from practice. And again, the report from the Cleveland Plain Dealer, cleveland.com, is that Odell has played his last game for the Browns. If that's the case, the Saints figure to be players in the sweepstakes to bring Odell Beckham to New Orleans. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.